Hello, welcome back to our course on web design for beginners. And in today's class, we'll be talking about web design. Now, in the last class, we talked about web development and we looked at the different layers of web development, right? So, there is always this misconception between web design and web development. So, I want to take a little bit of the time to actually discuss about these two. All right. First off, web design. When we talk about web design, we talk about the section of the aspect of the web creation, the web creation platform, or you could say the web creation exercise that handles the feel, all right, of your website, right? Handles the looks and the feel, how the website gets to look, uh, how different elements are linked together, right? The creation of navigation and the rest, like so it handles different uh, uh, views or visualizations that you see on your website, like the drop down menus, the navigation, scroll bars. We talk about the fonts and color schemes, all right? So anything visual on your website, okay? Even the text or the information that you wish to pass to your audience, all right, that are displayed on the website. So that's the aspect of the web creation technique that we call web design, all right. Although in the other contrast, it also entails uh, the processes that emanates to your web development, the approaches you take, like the information, the use of the information you've gathered to actually come up with a design, or we could call a wireframe. All right, the point where you get a wireframe, you design a wireframe for your website, you build user interfaces, user experience, and the rest, right? So this just handles the contents of your website where they are placed, all right? And it is divided into different roles. We have the user experience design, the one you call the UX. We also have the user interface design, the one we call the UI. Then we have information architecture, all right? The IA. Okay, so you might not always get to hear about this, all right? But then all these three makes up your website build up, all right? That's your web design build up. When you talk about web design, you are talking about the coming together of all these three different roles, all right? So now a web designer is someone who builds websites using these three basic languages, all right? And it's not limited to these three basic languages. There are other frameworks and libraries built on these three basic languages though that you can harness to build your website. So that's why we scale it down to these three basic languages, because almost whatever you're going to be doing on the front end will be foundationed on these three. Okay, so uh, web design handles the visuals, the visual display or disposition of your website, okay, and it doesn't go beyond that, all right. So from your planning to your wireframing, to your UI design, down to your UX design, then to your information architecture, how you want your informations to be arranged in the website. It's more like you determining which information comes after which one, all right. So which information comes after this, which one comes before this, all right. So all these things and the use of these three languages in bringing these whole things to life is what we call web design. And mind you, when we talk about user experience design, we we talk about the display or the creation of the graphical look alike of what you want your website to be, all right. So when you create a graphical design and you try to simulate and show how a typical user can actually use this website, the experience a typical user will have in using a website or any software at all. So that process is what we call the user experience design, whereas the user interface has to do with the graphical design itself. All right, it doesn't really simulate experience, right? It only like shows you the design itself. What a web designer does is to get this whole information, the UI, the UX, and the IA, all right, get them together and use them to come up with a good software that is already depicted in the design and the UX. So this is where we will stop for today's class on web design. So in our next class, we'll continue from where we stopped.